MeTV 24 Meridian proudly presents your favorite way to start the day. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Candace.
Yeah.
And welcome with Scotty Ray Candace on a Tuesday morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I am.
I had a chance to talk to the lady with the chicken last night that I call in that other country when I have a problem with my internet service.
Isn't that nice?
Boy, what a great time we had. And what I figured out is if you unplug everything 3 times and plug it back in, it may go to working again.
Oh, okay. Well, that's convenient.
Yeah. Never come up with what was wrong, but it went back to working, so I left her alone, her and her chicken.
Yeah. I tell you what's really aggravating is when your house phone is through them and it doesn't work because it's not working correctly. Then you try to use your cell phone and you have to go stand by the sliding glass door and go, hold on every 2 seconds to run over to the modem and come back. And, because that's the only spot your cell phone will work.
Because everything, your cell phones, if you got weak signal, work off the Wi-Fi now in the houses.
Yeah.
So you are shut down without it.
It's aggravating, really.
Boy, if they ever
you can't understand what somebody's saying on the other end of the phone. And
if they ever throw the switch on the www, we've all got a problem. Because it is so intertwined with our lives now.
It is.
It is with mine.
Well, it is with everybody's, I think, because everything depends on it, But.
So there you go. It's already Tuesday, and we're sitting at somewhere around 30 degrees, wind chill, 32. Let me back up. Wind chill at 27 this morning.
Goodness gracious. It is cold.
It
really
is.
Cold.
Let's talk about weather a second. Let me pull this up and show this, the extended forecast of what we got this week. Now, forecasters are saying don't worry just yet. As we look at Thursday, we got a 60% chance of rain during the daytime. But look at that low at night.
That's the scary thing is when it rains and it freezes over at night. So I'm worried about Friday morning travels.
They're saying all of this will stay in the Tennessee area and not make its way down, that it should dry out before dark 30. We'll see. We're still a couple of days out. It does kind of spook me. Yeah. Of the last time, no chance of snow, and you might get a flur, and then whoop, everybody had it.
Snow is always real questionable. You just really can't predict that a whole lot of times. You can say it might come and it might not. That's just one of those things. If you get it,
you're fortunate.
Yeah.
We don't really have enough snow in the South to really understand it. Our forecasters don't do that every day.
Yeah. But, it's nice to get the little dusting like we got the other day. But I hate the ice. I don't like the ice mess. So that worries me about the roads.
Yeah.
Mostly.
If we could get about an inch of snow for about 8 hours and then it melt, everything would be good. We'd get to do a snowman and ride around outside and have little snowball fights.
Yeah, that would be good. Alden tried to form a snowball with a little bit of snow we had on the hood of the car the other day. He raked it off. I think he got like a little bitty one about that big.
Just didn't work out, huh? Well, I didn't even try. I went outside and it was cold, and I turned around and come back in.
Yeah, it is cold. It's. But I like colder weather better than I do hot summertime. But,
I agree with that. I realized that
as long as the power's working.
5:15 this morning that I had not taken the garbage down to the road. And boy, let me tell you, that was a walk. Sophie didn't even want to go with me. She stayed at the house and looked out at me.
You need to run when you run back.
I was afraid to lick my mustache that my tongue may get stuck.
Goodness.
It was burr out there this morning.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. Coming up at the end of this week, we do have some cold weather that is on the way. So wrap those pipes. If for whatever reason you have not done that yet, you need to do that by Thursday.
Right. And if you have like the water spigots coming out of the side of your house, or, if you have them coming up out of the ground, wrap those, because that really, really, I know that's probably what you were talking about too, but I know if your house sits up like on it's not on a slab, sits up where air can get underneath it, a lot of people will put a light under there to kind of heat.
I've heard that.
But wrap them if you can.
Yeah, I would definitely do that. It's always one place in a home that always freezes before the other.
Yes.
And doing without water, miserable. How do we say it?
Yeah.
I mentioned this earlier this morning. We got the numbers from the Mississippi Highway Patrol of tickets and what happened. We did have 2 deaths over the course of the New Year weekend.
Goodness.
Sad news there. Just one happened in Jackson. A guy ran off the road. Another was a 2-car head-on collision. And 2 deaths in the state of Mississippi. You hate to see any.
Right.
But boy, let me tell you, those boys in blue, they had a ticket book out. Almost 15,000 tickets were written.
Gosh.
14,700 and something.
Yeah, that DUI number was a pretty high
what is the number?
279 DUIs were given.
What was that John
That's a lot.
Anderson song, when you get on the whiskey, let somebody else drive?
Yeah.
Apparently those 279 folks didn't do that.
Yeah, that's scary. It really is. People don't think about other people on the road, for sure.
That's
A lot of people just think, "Oh, I'm fine."
Yeah, I'll make it.
Yeah.
And then they, it's not the way to go. Always get a ride home or something if you've had a little too much.
Yeah,
But a lot of times people like that just don't think, period.
that's right.
You can't reason. It depends on who it is. There's the happy drunk, then there's the depressed drunk, and then
There's a
the
sloppy drunk
exactly.
that you can't tell anything. Yeah,
And that's the type that gets behind the wheel, and
Yeah.
off they go.
that's right.
Let's say some good mornings. Linda Jane is up.
That's right. Joyce Godwin, she's up. Steve and Wanda McKinnon, good morning. And Brian Troy, good morning to you.
Joyce said she still has her snow there in Tennessee.
Okay. I bet it's beautiful up there.
Ooh, it is.
Bill Reinhart, good morning to you. And Milton Saville, good morning.
17 wind chill in Nashville area, Murfreesboro.
Goodness gracious.
And we're at 20, what did I say?
I think
20?
it said 27.
Yes, 10 degrees. Ooh.
Actually, it's 32 degrees, but so that's freezing.
Yeah, wind chill. I ain't good at that.
Yeah.
Let's see. John Taubert is up this morning. Also, Milton Saville. How are you doing?
Denise Burnside, good morning. And Dorothea Harrison, good morning to you. Glad you're watching.
Yeah, we got Laura Todd Lee joining us this morning and a whole bunch of other folks.
Yes.
We'd love to see your comments and join in with us. It's Philadelphia, Mississippi, as we look at this. What was that? About 3 weeks ago, this gentleman was accidentally killed. He was in his home. Gunfire went through his home, and he was killed. And they've made 6 arrests now in the Philadelphia by the Philadelphia Police Department. Believe it or not, it was gang related. They were shooting at each other, and he just happened to catch a stray bullet. Sad.
Goodness gracious.
Everybody liked that gentleman that I have spoken to
Yeah.
in Philadelphia. He was just like somebody in the community that they really liked.
Yeah.
I hate that.
It is so sad when stuff like that happens. I mean, it really is. Good people just caught in the wrong place at the wrong time.
It is. Now, let's talk about this, because we brought it up yesterday, but it sure seems like it is just expanding in our area. And we're talking about the new variant.
Omicron.
Yeah. Mississippi has 17,525 cases right now. New cases.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And from what I understand, locally, we have a lot, I don't have a exact number. But
Yeah, the
I've heard
breakdown.
it. Yeah.
But everybody that says they go to get tested, the lines are long. It's spreading. That over the next 2 weeks is kind of like that time frame that you need to watch. If you don't have to be in a huge crowd in the next 2 weeks, kind of stay home.
Yeah, because I don't know how easily accessed the infusion is now. I don't know if it's readily available or I don't know with so many people having it.
Yeah, I've heard back and forth on that numbers are low on that, and you have to be a certain age right now or deathly sick to get it, because there's just not enough of it.
Yeah.
Now, can I verify that? No, but that is the word on the street, and I'll leave it at that. Now,
Right.
I wish I knew more on it, but gosh.
Just try to stay safe, best you can. Wash your hands, sanitize your hands. If you feel comfortable wearing a mask and you think it might, deter something, wear it if you want to.
So, and let me
don't,
ask this,
I mean,
and this ain't poking fun at nobody.
Yeah.
Have you gotten to the point where if you were to go into a grocery store that you'd put on the blue rubber gloves?
I don't do that. I know a lot of people do. Now, at one time, my mother did the glove thing. I don't.
You just wipe it down?
I try to. Yeah, hopefully, they have stuff available to wipe it down.
Right.
You can buy the Clorox little wipe things that you can take with you. The
Right.
ones in a little packet. But I try to wipe it down, and then I sanitize my hands really good after I leave. And that's about all I really know that I can do. I'm not going to wear gloves.
You ever wear a mask while riding a motorcycle all by yourself in the middle of nowhere?
No, I haven't done that.
I just saw that.
How do you keep a mask on a motorcycle?
I saw a picture of it.
I'd be scared it'd just, fly down my throat or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't do too well with that.
Yeah.
But we want y'all safe most of all.
Yes.
Watch yourself. John says 6-hour wait at the ER. I cannot imagine.
Yeah, I can't imagine either. Gosh.
That's a lot of waiting there. So,
And it really, you wonder if they're shorthanded from, people either quitting or
getting sick themselves.
getting sick, or I don't know how many people have lost their jobs that decided not to get it.
Well, like when I took my mother to her regular doctor appointment yesterday, everybody that works the front desk was out sick, and they had part-time people that were doing their best to figure out everything to get everybody going. But
yeah,
it is hitting hard locally. We want you safe.
Yes,
without a doubt. Already Tuesday, January the 4th.
it's already flying by. I mean,
the week is moving.
It is.
So be ready. What is our? We don't have anything. President's Day this month, isn't it? Or is that February?
I want to say it's in February.
Yeah, you're right. It is. Mm-hmm. It is February. It seems like there's some type of holiday. Martin Luther King, I think, is coming up this month, around the 19th, somewhere around in there.
I would have to look at the calendar to be sure.
So don't give up. Especially if you're a federal worker, you get a day off, or if the state of Mississippi, you get a day off. Yeah, Martin Luther King Day, that's coming up. So something to look forward to.
Yes.
I know it's always that hope of, I'll get a 3-day weekend.
I know. I took a couple of days off before Alden goes back to school. So I won't be back to work till Thursday when he goes back to school.
Right.
Hopefully we'll be able to do something, but it kind of concerns me now with all the sickness going around. I don't know. Really,
y'all go have a picnic.
We might be at home, like doing a painting project or something.
A picnicking.
Yeah. Let's
talk about Chet's Paint and Body. You'll find him out in Center Hill. Chet has so much going on there. If you haven't visited Chet before, you never had a reason. Well, one day, if you own a car, you will have a reason. If you get a fender bender, a deer does a little jig on top of your hood, down the side of your car, talk to Chet. Those horns do more damage than you really realize.
I saw a car yesterday that was totally demolished in the front from a deer.
And they will do this.
Yes.
I mean, they can even come through your windshield, bust that. See Chet, they'll put it back to the way it looked before it all happened there. Maybe you've had a little fender bender. It doesn't matter. And Chet stands behind what he says. They're going to, if they tell you something, that's what happens. If they tell you your car is going to be ready on that day, that's what they'll do there. They'll bend over backwards to help you because they want your business again. This is not a one-time thing that they do.
Right.
They want you to come by and, you be their body shop when you need them. See them, Chet's Paint and Body. Honest folks right here in the Center Hill area. Chet offers the aluminum repair on beds, Ford trucks. If you need something done to your GMC, they'll do that also. Small cars, their paint and body booth. And, they'll take care of a classic car as well. See them at Chet's Paint and Body, 737-2961, or you can drive out. See Chet. They'll help you in any way they can at Chet's Paint and Body. See them today. You'll be glad that you did.
On June 30th, 2021, the FDA alerted the public that Philips recalled certain CPAP devices due to concerns regarding its polyester-based polyurethane sound abatement foam. This is a Class 1 recall, the most serious type of recall. Use of these devices may cause serious injuries or death. If you're diagnosed with long-term, permanent, and life-threatening health complications, your illness may be linked to your use of a Philips breathing device, and you may be entitled to compensation. Call Richard Swartz & Associates for a case evaluation today.
The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville is passing along these great savings this week. Yellow onions, a 3-pound bag, only $1.99. Cuties or halos, a 3-pound bag, only $6.99. Green bell peppers, 89 cents each. Piggly Wiggly black-eyed peas, 15-ounce can, 79 cents. Coca-Cola products, 12-pack, 12-ounce cans, 2 for $10. And certified Angus beef ribeye steak, family pack, $14.99 a pound.
We're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
Good morning from Scotty Ray and Candace. As we begin this Tuesday, you always hear about the guy that goes for a pack of smoke and never comes back home.
Yeah.
This guy went for a loaf of bread, and I brought this up earlier, and bought a scratch off and won $1 million.
Wouldn't that be nice? Gosh, I would not be so lucky.
What would you get out of that? Maybe they take about a third of that, the government does, real quick like?
Yeah, well, I had heard of somebody, I heard it was like half. This morning, somebody else won on a... what is it? They call it fantasy football or something?
Yeah.
And he won $1 million on that. Well, it was half of it was taxed, like 50%. And he was going to take the other 50% and like help the community out or something. But
So he ain't going to get nothing out of it.
yeah, him and his wife were going to do that. But this is just amazing to me, though. Like, that would be nice.
It would be. Spend your money wisely. Don't do like all of these shows that you watch of people that do this and then have nothing in a month.
Right.
Or maybe 2 years. Maybe that was a little stretching it. But
I don't know. Some people could spend it in a month, I think.
because everybody you ever heard of and known in your life show up for that little handout there. And then it was kind of like the jerk.
Yeah.
He helped everybody.
Oh, yeah. Everybody was asking, had their hand out, waiting.
You know, as we brought up that coronavirus, it's 5 additional deaths in the state of Mississippi. I missed that part on the headline there as we look at how many that we've got.
Well, like I said, I think it was yesterday, I said the Delta, from what I understand, is still out there.
It is.
Causing.
It's causing.
That was a very bad one.
Tomorrow we'll do that, pull up that state by state just so you can see that and kind of know what's going on in the area of where it is.
Yeah.
This is tragic. I didn't think that anybody would actually ever do this, but it's out there. It does. Alaska. And, of course, when you think of Alaska, it's already cold.
Right. Freezing.
But a baby was found on the side of the road with a note tucked in it, a newborn.
In a cardboard box.
Yeah.
I mean. Yeah.
And the note says, it tells the birthday, Friday, December the 31st at 6 a.m. I was 12 weeks premature. My parents can't afford me. Is there?
That's so sad.
Isn't there laws against abandoning?
I mean, I would think so, but I mean, if you know you can't afford a child, why don't you make arrangements
in the beginning?
Right. If
for
you
adoption.
Make arrangements, there's so many people that would love to have a child. I wouldn't think leaving them out in the freezing cold in a cardboard box.
Gosh.
I mean, thank goodness, like you said, somebody found them.
Yeah, because that could have, I don't know how many hours you can be out, but I would think that a newborn couldn't handle that very long.
I would think not, yeah. Especially a premature babies can have all kind of health problems. They can. So, I mean, you have to be
And that was a premature baby.
Yeah. 12 weeks, it said. 12 weeks, that's 3 months. I mean,
Wow.
3 months premature. That's scary.
So hopefully that child is going to be adopted and somebody takes it home that wants one.
I hope so.
Oh, yeah, we do. We look at that. Getting a note there from Horn Lake, Mississippi. 27 degrees this morning.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, y'all are way below freezing there. As I mentioned Betty White earlier this morning, there was a rumor, and it's floating around the internet, that says that she took her booster shot or her first round of a shot, and she died 3 days later. Her assistant says that is not true, that she just died of natural causes. She did not get a shot 3 days before it. She was in great health, and her body just that night chose to go on back to the good Lord.
Yeah.
So, nothing to that rumor, if you've heard that. So there.
Yes.
Sanders Gas is on the rescue today.
Bill Reinhardt. So you're without heat, Bill. Goodness.
Oh, boy, you got to have that gas there. Check your tanks as we get near the end of the week there with these temperatures driving. Do that.
Yeah, I know how it is, though, to, think you got gas because you hadn't checked it in a while. And then when our ice, when we got that last round of ice, we had 30%, I think. And I thought, oh, Lord, how long is this going to last? And because I knew it would be a continuous, because we were without power,
Yeah, for a few days.
Anyway, make sure.
Go by and check your tank. Get it filled up. They even have those programs, I think, to where they'll come by and check it where you don't have to remember.
Yeah, every now and then you'll get a call, I think. We do, every now and then.
Go out there and see if there's any walst underneath that thing.
That's right.
That is the biggest critters. That's where they hide.
Yeah, if you want to move fast, just lift up that thing.
Yeah.
Check it. You might want to bang on it before you go.
It's amazing where walls. Of course, right now we're pretty good on that. They're a little bit slower.
Why is that? I guess it's just too cold. They
can't move. I've been in shoot houses to where you have a 40-degree morning. They're crawling around, but they can't fly.
Yeah.
Take them all out.
Gosh.
I can't stand the walst. That's one of the worst pests we've got there, along with the fire ant.
We got in a shoot house one time, and there was gnats swarming in it or something. It was little tiny gnat bugs. I mean, millions of them. And so, me, I'm like, am I going to get up in this thing? I had to get up in there and just sit real still and just hope they didn't land all over me.
So apparently you've never gotten to a shoot house before daylight and there'll be a rat in there with you because it's cold and it's come in trying to...
No.
Yeah, that'll because you're in there by yourself and you hear something you can't see it and you're trying to find your cell phone.
Yeah, I'd probably scare all the deer off. I think I could handle a rat better than I could a snake, though. I wouldn't want a snake like coiled up in there waiting.
I have to agree. Now, snake is probably that's a ferocious critter to me.
Yeah.
So y'all watch them. These hot days, who knows? They may be back out again.
I know. That's the thing. I saw the other day where somebody said to be on the lookout for snakes. They had killed a copperhead that was just like right in their flower bed.
Wow.
So.
Getting reports from, where's that? Huntsville, Alabama, 25 degrees this morning.
Goodness.
Golly, y'all, I don't even want to go outside when it's that cold.
I know.
If Angie hadn't have yelled at me, she wouldn't have got her garbage taken off this week. I'd have said, it can wait till next week. That's the way I felt on the situation. All right, Cuomo. Did I pronounce that right? Or Cuomo?
Cuomo. I think that's how they pronounce it. Who knows?
Couldn't he have just been a Smith, and I could have said his name correctly?
Yeah.
Former governor of New York. Y'all saw this coming. All charges against him have been dropped just hours after the new DA took over. That was a deal made long before he ever resigned. If he resigned, that all charges, we know that. There was a handshake deal behind it. If you do this, step away now, no charges will be filed against you and you'll go free.
So they cannot prosecute him on the nursing home deaths.
There you go.
I think that is so sad.
Like I said, that was
because, I mean, he was obviously responsible.
Is it Janet Dean?
Yeah, the one that's on the
Fox the weather girl?
Mm-hmm. She had both of her in-laws, her husband's mother and father, both died in the nursing home from it. And so she's really been pushing to get him prosecuted for that, because I think he needs to be held responsible. He's the one that made those calls to send those sick people to the nursing home.
Lied about the numbers so bad that they didn't match anything.
Well, you know, and it wouldn't have been... He had other options. I mean, Trump had sent those ships, or that ship, not ships, but a ship. Do you remember that? A boat, or whatever they call it, that had all these hospital beds on it that he could have used. It was for that purpose. He chose not to, and I think just because he didn't like Trump, you know, he chose not to go that route.
Yeah.
And instead sent them to the nursing home and got all these people sick. It's awful.
It is.
He's responsible. So.
Joel Harrison texted me and said he's 27 on his porch this morning. Last Tuesday, his brother-in-law killed a cottonmouth.
Gosh.
See, this is Mississippi. This is the South.
Yeah, that's the scary thing about it. You get out there hunting and the snakes start crawling again.
Yeah.
But, and two, that warm weather brings everything starts trying to bloom, all the flowers.
Oh,
have you noticed that?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping this spring everything's not going to be ugly, because all the cold weather's going to kill all the blooms.
Now, the next subject that I want to bring out, I think everybody and their brother has discussed this. It hasn't, I know you and I had gone into a lot of detail on it, but now across the United States, the average used car, something that you would have paid $2,500 for 2 years ago, is now probably valued at about $4,000 or $5,000. Everything is almost double the value. Yeah. The average used car in America right now is $29,000, and the average Joe can't afford $29,000 for a used car.
Yeah,
they can't. There's a market for the $4,000 and $5,000 cars and $10,000 and below. You know, everybody has one of those where you have the car that you just drive to work. Well, there's not many of those left.
I know.
And two people working, making $400 or $500 a week, cannot pay to have two cars pay $29,000 each for that and still be able to eat.
Right.
You can't do it.
And these used cars, like you were talking about, that normally would be like $2,500 or like $5,000. If you look, most of them have about 200,000 miles on them.
Yeah.
You know, so you're paying this much for a vehicle that you don't know if it's going to last or not. You know.
I talked to somebody the other day that bought a 6-year-old truck and they paid $44,000 plus tax. 6 years old. Back in the real world, that would be about a $12,000 truck. It's just shocking. So choose your cars wisely. And there's going to be a lot of folks that drive their cars a little bit longer now until this passes.
Yeah,
that's just a lot of money for a used car. So if you're in the market, keep that in mind.
And building materials, you know, they're still up. They kind of went down. We noticed this the other day. We went to Lowe's, had to get something to fix the bathroom that we're kind of redoing. But yeah, some board had gone down. Now it's back up. It went down to like $15. Now it's back up to $26.
Ooh.
Yeah. So Normally, I think it was around 10, if I'm not mistaken.
That's high. I saw something in the news not long ago where they were going to try to crack down on the people that are driving prices, but they can, and that's what they do. People like that get richer that take advantage of the people. They get richer during times like this because they can afford it. But that's a lot there. And when will America wake up? Because all this is about the COVID, workers not being able to build new cars. And the most important thing there is these chips, new cars. I passed through part of Texas not long ago, north of Dallas, and there was a parking lot. I promise you, if there wasn't 20,000 pickup trucks sitting there, it wasn't a one sitting there. Didn't have a chip in any of them. So what happens when they get the chips with all of these backdated cars that are going to be hitting the market? Won't this be like a landslide, like the housing market that fell that time?
I don't know. I don't know how
Something's
that works,
going to have to give because you're not going to pay for a used car what you could go buy a brand new one for.
Yeah.
And at one point, all these cars will be released. We have got to get manufacturing back in America.
That's right.
We can't keep depending upon. You take our medicines. That's another big thing. We get into an argument with another country. The senior citizens and people that need medicine every day couldn't get it.
Yeah. And too, like the builders, like people who are building homes or just carpenters in general, the building materials being so high priced, I'm sure that's putting a damper on them being able to do some work.
Yeah.
Also, I've seen a lot of them are just like starving for workers. I mean, they can't get people to help them.
Yeah, because Biden was paying them more to stay at home.
Yeah, people are still getting the payments and all that kind of stuff. So
now, as a kid, and somebody, if y'all remember this, I was probably 5 or 6 years old. There was a movie that came on about a people that got on, those little car. You get up on the buggy. What do you call them? It's like a lift that goes up and it's enclosed. What do you call it?
A
Skybox.
Skybox, yeah.
And it was a movie about some people that got hung in that, and I think it was based around the Memphis area, and they were hung in the air for hours and hours. I can't remember the name of the movie.
I would be so nervous. I'd be a nervous wreck.
This happened in New Mexico, the real deal. 12 hours of it, 21 people in that little box hung up for 12 hours. Can you imagine?
I would be nervous just riding one, even if it took me 10 minutes to get across wherever.
It
would make me a nervous wreck. But be stuck in there for 12 hours.
Did you see how high? Look at that. 10,000 feet in the air up the incline where they were going.
They would have to sedate me. Just knock Candace out.
Here's a picture of the helicopter going up there to get them. And, of course, everything was froze, so they couldn't get down.
Yeah. Scary.
I wouldn't even, Stone Mountain, they got one of those to where you ride up Stone Mountain. I wouldn't get on it. I just stayed down at the base of it, and I waved at the family as they were rode up. I was scared to death of it because I saw that movie as a kid, and I know that's wimping out, but I couldn't handle it.
Well, I know Gatlinburg I've seen one time when we were up in Gatlinburg, and I saw one going through the mountains, and it was like long way down.
Yeah.
Up under there. It would make me so nervous. I don't think I could do it.
As you look at this picture here, the altitude was at 10,000 feet where they were. But you look at this, the height of the cable car was 85 feet from the ground. That's a long way down if you're looking sitting in there. Wow. So they rescued them. And can you imagine how cold you would get after 12 hours?
Gosh. I wouldn't have wanted to be them.
And
I'm just glad they're okay.
And let me just throw this out there. I ain't trying to go into a subject we don't need to talk about. But 12 hours locked in that, and the last I checked, I stuck my head in and I didn't ride it. I don't think there's a bathroom in there.
No.
12 hours. Y'all imagine. Y'all know where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
Something wasn't
Somebody
good.
probably had to change clothes.
Yeah.
Gosh. That would be awful.
That gives me the willies thinking about that. Bill says, I rode one of those cars in Colorado in the summer of 2,200 feet above the floor of the canyon. Don't care to do that again. Nor would I ever walk out that new thing that they've done at the Grand Canyon with the glass.
No.
Where you walk out and you look down.
It does something to me. Even to look over the edge of a balcony way up high. I do too. I get dizzy like I'm going to pass out.
Yeah.
I don't see how people climb to the top of a peak on this mountain and just stand there and hold their hands up like they're so free. I would just pass out.
Is it Japan that has that glass walkway and then they've got a button that they can hit that it looks like it's shattered?
Yeah, and everybody just hits the deck. Yeah. I don't
it
think
would
I could do
it would put my ticker over the edge and all be over. You'd be toting me.
Yeah.
So just thought
I'd
y'all might
pass
want
out
to
and
do.
they'd be dragging me across. Just drag.
I'm with you on that. That wouldn't work
Oh,
well for
goodness.
me. More coming up with Scotty Ray and Candace. Y'all hang close as we get through this chilly morning here with Scotty Ray and Candace. Thank y'all.
Rockhouse Gun and Pawn is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Lots of different calibers and brands to choose from when it comes to hunting rifles. Whether you're looking for a new pump shotgun or an AR, the Rockhouse will have the gun that you need, with a huge selection of ammunition for just about any caliber that you may be looking for. Pistols, scopes, and a whole lot more. Plus a private lobby for your confidentiality when it comes to your pawns. Rockhouse Gun and Pawn, located at 5430 Highway 19 North Meridian.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our community efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
I just got a note from Debbie, and she told me I was having a Joe Biden moment, and I just adapted a situation. She said that years ago, her and Mike went to a concert and were over Mud Island and got trapped in one of those cars and couldn't get down. I really think there was a movie about that, and where they had to climb, like the Inferno building fire thing. It was a movie similar to that.
It could have been. I don't know.
But again, I was 5 years old, and that's been a long time ago. That's the same thing as that movie I saw with my sister about the frogs that went through the window that ate everybody. I ain't never liked a frog since then. I had nightmares as a little boy about that.
My youngest daughter, she doesn't like frogs, bugs of any kind. Now, I don't like bugs, but I can pick up bugs like crickets and stuff with my son.
Right.
Lizards, frogs, that don't bother me. But my older son stuck a tree frog in the shower.
That'll make somebody get out
And
naked.
she didn't know it until she got in there, turned the shower on, and a few minutes later, my son I heard her scream, and then my son is just laughing, and I'm like, what did you do? He had stuck a tree frog in her shower, and she was about to tear it up to get out of there.
So has anybody else done this? This happened a few years ago to me. Somebody gave me a cup of coffee. All innocent. I'm drinking that cup of coffee, and down at the bottom of the thing it's a fake frog, but as you're drinking, there's a frog looking up at you at the bottom of your glass, and I dropped my glass. Not gonna lie, or my mug.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, lost power in Battlefield. Ooh, that's not good. Let's see here. Let me go over here and check, make sure we don't outage here. Let me go here real quick and see if there's anything to that on my system here. Let's see what we got.
Okay.
It won't take just a second. Current outages. I got 0 here. So that's with the MEP. Don't know who you're with, John. There. So anyway, let us know. Keep us updated on that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's go back in time and go down what happened on this date. A few things that you might remember. One of the biggest turnouts of a funeral ever happened on this day in Montgomery, Alabama. It was 1953, and over 20,000 people showed up to see the burial of Hank Williams. It happened on this date. A lot of folks attended that. They just wanted to be near Hank.
Yeah.
Hank was just like, I don't know how to word it. He led so many people in so many different directions. They felt like they knew him.
Yeah.
He talked to the common man, and that had never been done before. But a huge funeral. Roy Acuff, the entire staff of the Grand Ole Opry showed up for that funeral in Montgomery, Alabama. And if you ever make it to Montgomery, go by and visit Hank.
Yeah.
Of course, Alan filmed. Do you remember that when Alan Midnight in Montgomery filmed the video there, and they filmed everything they got back, and it was all blank? And they said, was it the ghost? So they had to go back and refilm everything. They said, was it the ghost of Hank or not? It was a pretty cool video. I was, and I know Debbie was watching just a minute ago, and she has to remember this. We were in Nashville, 94, 95, 96, somewhere along in there. And I remember back in the early, say 84, 85, Patty Loveless come out. Don't Toss Us Away, If My Heart Had Windows. And I finally got to meet Patty Loveless. And I got to dance with Patty Loveless. And I think she almost fainted being near me. But Patty Loveless is having a birthday on this date. Born in 1957.
I always liked listening to her.
She just seems like one of us. Her and Dwight Yoakam come from the same small town in Kentucky, Pikeville, Kentucky. And what a sweetheart she is. She's still out there, still touring. Now, this was not one of my favorites. She was always barefooted. And I was like, well, that don't really fit us. And she toted this rug around like Pat Green, wave on wave guy. But Dina Carter was born on this date back in 1966.
Yeah.
Strawberry
wine, yeah. I liked that song, but I mean, she kind of just kind of
faded away.
Faded on out of the limelight.
That was back in the day when you really had to be country to make it, and, well, she didn't quite hang in there.
I just wonder sometimes, like, when stuff like that happens, did they just kind of fade on out because they figured out maybe this is not for me?
There's some of those.
Or did they just not make it, Because I thought she was pretty good.
And a lot of times it's a business deal gone wrong. You make somebody mad at a label, your career is over, unless you're George Strait. But early on in your career, if you make the wrong person mad, there ain't nothing you can do to fix it. If your manager makes somebody mad. I talked to a guy not long ago that said he was at a meal, and he said he saw it going south. They got mad over a song that was going to be released, and the artist got dropped. All because of that. It was 1983, and I remember this like it was yesterday. They were new to country, and they'd done things that other country artists had never done. I'm talking Alabama. This was the #1 album in America, Mountain Music. Y'all remember that?
Oh, yeah.
See that mountain over there? I'm going to climb that mountain one day. And then one of the longest, it was a 6-minute song. Another thing that was really not done in country music. Everything was 2.5 to 3 minutes up until this song.
That's a good song, though.
Oh, liked it. 1974, Richard said, I ain't doing it. You can come in here and ask me all you want, but I ain't handing it to you. He would eventually turn them over, but he refused on this date to hand over the Watergate tapes. Turns out it wasn't such a great idea to tape record everything.
Now,
but he did have a razor blade and take out some stuff.
Now, was he the one that taped everything?
Yeah.
Like,
you come in his office, it was on tape.
Yeah.
And I would assume that even happens to this day, that there's a recorder in that Oval. I would think so. I don't know that.
Yeah.
2007, this history was made on this date also, and it was really not a good day for America, in my opinion. She became the first female Speaker of the House. We're talking Nancy Pelosi. Now, in the news today, they say that Nancy, and I've heard two different stories. Last week, it was that she was going to rerun, and now they're saying that she's going to step down next year at the midterms. That woman loves power, and you may disagree with me. It would be hard for her to give up something.
Yeah, I just wonder if they got somebody else in mind, and
they do.
Maybe that's why she's, talking about stepping down, is because she really wants to push that person into that position.
That would be like telling Donald Trump he couldn't run. That would put him over the edge. He couldn't handle that.
They're steadily trying, to get him removed from being able to even run again. So
they try and they try and they try. Who remembers Charlie's Angels? It got to where after Farrah left, they had so many different people there of swapping them out that maybe you don't remember this girl, but she was there for a little while. Tanya Roberts. She passed away on this date back in last year, 1 year ago.
I did not know she passed away.
Young. Never did say how she passed away.
Goodness.
Gosh, how time flies.
So she was on it was A View to a Kill. That was one of the James Bond.
Yeah.
Right?
She was a Bond girl and then went on to be a Charlie's Angels girl. But what is so fascinating about that show, Farrah was probably on there less than anybody, a year at most, and that's all you remember about Charlie's Angels. Was it the hair, or maybe was it the poster that made her so popular?
Probably both, I guess. But
I had the
I'm
poster.
sure the poster. My brother had the poster.
You couldn't help but have that poster. Okay, I might be 50 and I still got the T-shirt. You just didn't, that was a time before posters. I forget how many that poster sold.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, it put her on the map. And, of course, we had Lee Majors. They were like the Hollywood couple at the time of the $6 Million Man.
Yeah. He was I thought he was handsome,
Oh, Lee. Of course, it started out on the Big Valley, and then he would move on to that. And who doesn't forget from the 80s, The Fall Guy?
Yeah.
I love that show.
Oh, we watched it all the time.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it Bruce Boxner that was his sidekick on there?
I don't know who the sidekick was, but I
think
remember
it was
us
that
watching
guy.
him all the time on there. But I miss the old shows. was watching Andy Griffith yesterday.
And I guess part of this has to do with, back in the early times when you had 3 networks, you knew all the characters on TV shows. Now, with the cable systems, you have a choice of so many different things, and you just don't know, you don't identify with characters like you used to because there's so many choices. And I assume that's what it is.
Yeah, it surprises me sometimes what's allowed on Family Channel. You know that show 2.5 Men? Have you ever seen that with Charlie Sheen? And
I saw it with Charlie, and I never watched it after they replaced him with
Ashton Kutcher.
him.
They talk about subjects on there that you just would not expect to be on. Look at Yellowstone, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's on network television, so.
They say some dirty words is what we're trying to say.
I can't believe that the regular TV has that on it, but, it's a good show, but like I've said 100 times, it could be just as good, I think, without the language that they use. But I can remember when we were little, though, if I went to my grandmother's house and they were watching anything that had any kind of language or any kind of anything that we didn't need to be, we had to stay on the other side of the house, and they shut the doors off. We couldn't even go anywhere near the living room.
Yeah,
we had to stay in the bedrooms and watch TV.
And in 1939, it almost didn't happen. That first line that probably in the movies, the first cuts were probably ever Gone with the Wind. When Rhett's getting ready to, the last scene of the movie, it almost didn't happen. They were afraid that would go south for them.
Yeah.
Go south, that was not a cliche. But it worked out.
Yeah.
But even through the 70s, you just didn't do that. And again, I blame all this on Roseanne.
Yeah.
That was the show that came about that put things on national television in households that we'd never seen before. It went to new... Yeah. That's my opinion. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong.
Right. It did have some issues on there that most shows didn't deal with at the time. But John Talbert says that Central Electric is... I guess that's what he's... All
right, let me see. I got a button for them also. Hang on here. Let's see what
my daughter's on that. Check on her.
Let me go over here and let's find Central Electric here. Let's see what we got showing up here. We have... I tell you this, but there's one customer out. And it looks like you might be it. Let me pull this up where you can see this here. One right there. One customer affected by Central Electric.
Huh.
So, right there.
Could be a limb or something. Maybe fell on a line. Or
there it is, right there. If that's where you, I was trying to get a road. It's County Road. That looks like 491 is where that is, where that one outage is. That's off of 19 to the east.
Gosh, my daughter lives up that way.
But one person, and it's lucky you in the cold weather. I'm sorry about that. But I thought we'd check that for you real quick and let you do that. As always, when weather breaks out, we'll be here to let you know and keep on top of situations for you with Twin States News and all of us here in our weather portion of this show. So always stay close. We'll give you the absolute latest information there is. Let's talk about Snowden and Company. Every now and then you get that wild hair to go, hey, I want to live somewhere else.
Yeah.
And they're there for you. They're going to help you sell your home. Maybe you've been there for 40 years and you're thinking it's too big now. Kids are gone, grandkids don't come over enough, and I need a smaller home. They can do that also. Whether you're looking for anything, if the downsizing to the upgrading, maybe you got more youngins and you know what to do with now.
Yeah.
Well, these 3 young ladies will help you out there. They've been there a long time. Chosen as the Reader's Choice Awards. And then we got this new young lady that has joined them, Elizabeth. What a smiling face. She'd love to see you.
Yeah.
You can drop in. They're easy to find. Give them a call at 453-3937. You can go to the website, kind of scroll around, look at the pictures. You see a house you like, call them. They'll make an appointment where you can go see them. Plenty of houses to choose from. Now, this right here is going to look a little bit different. That was taken right before winter hit. The flowers aren't blooming right now.
That's
I'm going to go ahead and tell you.
But the home is beautiful.
Yeah, this home here, I've heard so many people talk about how gorgeous that is. That's in the southeast area.
It's a big one.
Yeah, it's a lot of room in that.
Yes.
See them at Snowden and Company. Find the home that you're looking for, from double wides with land or maybe just an acre that you're looking for. They're set up Monday through Friday till 5 p.m. Appointment on Saturday, closed on Sunday. They want to go to church just like you do. See them, Snowden and Company. Find out why so many people choose Amanda and her staff. Designated sellers, certified real estate negotiating expert. She's there for you. See them again at Snowden and Company.
I was heading out to meet up with my friends on a Friday night, but I never made it. After I finally got home from the hospital, it was obvious. I needed help.
I'm Mississippi Attorney Richard Schwartz. I'm proud to represent the people of the great state I call home.
As we look at poll numbers, and I'm not sure this is right, I have a hard time believing this, but as we look at the national news, and sometimes you just got to listen to what they say, don't mean it's right, they're claiming that Biden is only 5 points behind Trump in the presidential election if it were to be held today. 5 points. Do you believe that? I don't believe that. If you factor in the north, but I remember traveling back in 15 and 16 and going through what we'd call across the Mason-Dixon line, and you would be shocked how many homes had the signs out front. I think after that last election, there's not as many people that want to put anything in their yard because they're afraid neighbors would come tear it down, be ugly to them. And there's been a division in America over this of not showing who you're going to vote for because you're scared of what somebody's going to do to you. Well, we shouldn't live that way. There was, in our own town, I mean, there was people who had signs in their, like, they put them in front of their businesses. Right. But because they didn't own the business, they rented the business, they were told to remove the signs. Well, that's not fair. I didn't think it was fair either. But so then they go out and put them in their car. Well, that's smart. Yeah, sometimes the window of their car. You just got to outthink people. Yeah. I agree with that. I don't know if it was, I think it was this last election. It could have been before, the one before. I don't know, but to me, that's just kind of tacky. Now, I'm not sure. This guy is Andy, let me pronounce his name. He's a writer and former Restaurant Empire CEO. Andy Puzder, is that how you pronounce that name, Puzder? Big guy with a lot of money. I've never heard of him. Real famous guy. He claims that Biden now realizes that shutting down America was a fatal mistake, as red state governors have known all along. They never shut down. Most didn't. What's that girl out there in South Dakota that I really like? She's
I know
she's
who you're
snazzy.
talking about, but I can't think of what her name is.
Great personality.
But yeah,
I think we'll see more of her and go far beyond Sarah Palin ever did. Sarah just didn't have that connection like this girl does. Yeah. Ron DeSantis is one of the superstars from Florida. Yeah. As we look to what may happen in the future, and you can't leave out Joe, the Democrat that is from West Virginia. I think a lot of people go, he's a smart man. He really understands what his voters want, and no matter where you're from, that's what you do is represent the people where you come from. Right. A lot of times, you want what's best for the country, and you can, point it in the right direction. Yeah. Not run it in the ground. So many times politicians leave their home state and their group of community of people, and then they get persuaded by people in Washington to vote other ways other than what the people that elected them. Yeah. We got to get back to
Christy Noam.
Is that her name, Christy? And she's a pretty lady, too.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she was. And then I think, didn't she give the plaque, the little thing there, the sculpture to Trump with his face on Mount Rushmore?
I don't know.
Did she do that?
I don't know if she did or not. I just remember listening to a speech that she gave one time about her dad after he was a farmer, I think. Right. And after he passed away, she had found cassette tapes that he had recorded. And it was on how to run everything, how to do everything. If you start, because I think she had to take up, start running things after he passed away. But it was just a real touching story that she had. And she just seems like a down-to-earth person.
I like that old girl.
Come from a good family. So.
We're going to see more of her. I like her more than the girl that come from South Carolina that was governor up there that went on to be a UN, and I'll think of her name in just a second. It'll come back to me. But I really like her. Did you say you want to see a picture of Joe? This is Joe getting off Air Force One yesterday. They had to sit for a little while. It was snowing so hard when they landed at Andrews Air Force Base, they couldn't leave Air Force One.
Goodness. I heard this morning a story where, everything on the meat prices and everything are going up. And I heard him talking about how out of touch, this kind of gives an example how out of touch he is with things. But he said that he just found out now meat prices have been climbing for a long time. Right. They've been up for a while. And he said that he overheard his wife and somebody else in the family talking in the kitchen on Monday morning or Sunday or Monday morning, talking about how high priced the meat had gotten. He's just been announced this to him, like he's just found this out and it's been going on. So what does that tell you? And he's the leader of the country.
Okay? Lives in a bubble is what that tells you. You can say what you want to about Trump, but he did know what the average Joe was thinking and what was going on in their neighborhoods. He did know all that. He just said it in a wrong way sometimes.
Yeah.
Nikki Haley, thank you, LaWanda. That was her name from South Carolina that I couldn't remember.
Okay.
I think she's one of those that will be on Trump's side so long as America thinks it's great. But if he gets to there's any controversy, she backs. Yeah, she's a flip-flopper, and I don't trust people like that.
Yeah, I don't either. I think if if you're for something or someone, you need to stand your ground and back them or back whatever you're for.
As Aaron Tippin said, you got to stand for
mind.
something or you'll fall for anything. And America is falling for anything these days. We just found out Don Jr. has been engaged for a year. And it's the girl that her hair doesn't move. Yeah, that's who I'm talking about. Kimberly Goforth, who was on Fox News. It could be a hurricane and her hair would not move. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, it doesn't move at all.
Mine on either side.
There's enough hairspray there.
Yeah.
Marty Stewart and her would have a contest.
Yeah. I don't think she got to worry about her clothes moving either because
It's kind of
pretty
tight.
much like painted on.
Yeah, it's just, maybe I shouldn't do that. But they're on there tight.
Yes, they are.
She can't eat too much at lunch.
It's kind of like clothes made by Spanx.
There you go. Don't you like? Look, ever since I found these stretchy blue jeans that my wife gave me, life is great. I don't even have to do the Al Bundy when I eat now. Where you undo that top button where you can get just a little bit more in.
Yeah, stretchy blue jeans are good. Stretchy clothes are good. Also, I think they need to make the adjustable waist things for, like they do for kids. They need
I got
to make
hunting
it for
breeches that there in the side. It's got elastic that it stretches.
that's what- yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Y'all get you some of that. They need some 3-piece suits made with that. Everybody else will be happier too.
Yeah.
It's tough sometimes getting it buttoned.
Talking about suits, I do not like the new style of suits that some of these guys are wearing.
Are you talking about where they hug their legs?
Well, they look like they're ready for a flood.
Yes.
And then the arms look like if they do like this, they like go up to. I mean, they look too short. They look like they need to fire their tailor.
It's like somebody didn't know how to measure.
Right, and then they won't button. They look like they're pulling. It's almost like that's the new style to look like it's too little. I don't know.
I'll wear my shirt untucked, but I don't want that shirt that is known for the untucked look.
Yeah.
Because it's too short. I wear mine undone so to hang down.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I don't know though. I guess I'm just not on.
Oh, Ralph Lauren ain't called me yet. I could tell him something. Been wearing this since 1990.
Look, we kind of matched today.
Yeah, you got
I've got a little green on right here. And
look, y'all, when it comes to, what is that Irish day that comes up? The Leprechaun Day, what is that?
Yeah.
In the spring? The four-leaf
If you
clover
hadn't
day.
asked me, I could tell you. What in the world? Why can't I have this?
I'm blank here. It's they dye all the water green. It'll come back to us here in a minute.
Look, it's going to be, we sound like we don't even know.
Well, that one, I don't know why I can't think of it. They do the parades and
St. Patrick's Day. Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Like, why can't we think of that, Scotty Ray?
We had a duh moment.
Yeah.
We're just gonna go ahead and tell y'all it happened.
Brain fog. Oh, look, my hair.
I had it all around me.
Wouldn't move then either.
They even have green
We're
beer
your daily
on that
entertainment.
Day. Yeah, just being ourselves. Let's head out to Maple's One Stop Shop. If you're needing gasoline today, they're located all around Meridian. 6 locations that you can find this. Causeyville, one of their new locations. If you haven't been by there lately, you'll enjoy yourself. They try to keep the gas prices as low as they can, and you'll always find a clean store inside, in and out. Their folks are always on it. If you'll notice that counter there, ain't no coffee spills on that or sugar. Nope, they've cleaned it up. And, of course, you can get the cold coffee machine there in Broadmoor. That's the caramel, vanilla, French vanilla, mocha, all of that there. And for the rest of the world that does the hot coffee, like we enjoy, your 6th cup of coffee is free on the coffee program there. Just get your card punched. It's simple.
That's right.
And again, look at this. I'm not kidding you. When every time I've gone in there, they've just redone all this and kept their stores extremely clean. You'll enjoy it. Get yourself a 2-liter drink if you need that. Moon pies. If you need beef jerky, they got that for that little afternoon snack.
Yeah.
And pizza. If you're looking for a great price for under $5, pizza, a drink, and a bag of chips, all for $4.99.
You cannot beat that.
Crickets, if you're into that kind of thing, fishing this time of year in 20-degree weather, they'll help you out also. See them today. Lottery tickets and ice cream and a whole lot more. Again, 4 locations, Bonita, Pine Springs, and the list goes on. Last Chance in Broadmoor, Chevron, and you'll find them all there, even in Causeyville. See them today. Maple's One Stop Shop. You'll be glad you did.
I'm Ben from Greenville, Mississippi, and it took one call and that was all. I called my Mississippi attorney, Richard Schwartz, and he got me $600,000.
If you need me, Mississippi, remember, one call, that's all.
Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to hit that so we can come back. What
It's a quick commercial. Somebody, let's see, Bill Reinhart said that they dye the Chicago River green on St. Patrick's Day. I bet that's a neat thing to see. You know, you can dye your ponds, too. Have you seen people do that?
Yes, I have.
It's really pretty, and we thought about doing that. I did it one time. I don't think I put enough dye in the pond, but it was still pretty. But we wanted to do that, and then we thought, probably not a good idea because we have 2 white labs that love to get in the pond.
And
so I don't know. We'd probably have
a little green.
Yeah, we'd have some green labs. I
And
think.
not long ago, I was hanging around some police officers, and they were writing up a report from a wreck. Mm-hmm. And they said, sometimes you just can't help but laugh. Uh-huh. But the guy reported the reason he wrecked was a leprechaun ran in front of his Jeep, and he wrecked trying to miss the leprechaun. That happened here locally.
Save the leprechauns.
That is funny.
Yeah.
As we look at things that are going on, Grammy Awards, it looks like they're going to be postponed. They hadn't officially done it, but it looks like the Grammys are because of COVID.
Yeah. I think a lot of things have kind of been put on hold now.
More and more to come. Y'all watch this. Jim Bob, the Duggars. They're giving them a hard time. Let me show you this picture. This is the Duggar family New Year's Eve party. Their son went to jail.
Yeah.
And the headline on this is that the Duggars have a very somber New Year's Eve party. They're human, just like we are. Mm-hmm. If you had a child, regardless if they're guilty or not, you'd still feel for them, and that's all that is.
Yeah.
The Duggars, there's like 80 of them. They multiply every day.
Well, you can have 3 children, and they have families of their own, and they might have 3 or 4 kids themselves. That's still a large family. Can you imagine having, how many did they have? Like 18, 17?
19 count.
19.
There was something, I don't remember.
And each one of those children have their own families. Can you imagine?
Yeah. And of course, here's the guy that is the controversy around Josh. And they said that he did spend jail Christmas Day in jail by himself. It was a somber moment. No visitors. I don't guess they would let him have any.
Look, I mean, I think that's horrible what he did, and I'm
very
not
bad.
at all saying he should be taken up for. But when you have a child, like they raised him, they did have lots and lots of kids, but I mean that's their kid.
And that's why their moment was somber. Regardless, he was, it's not the parents' fault. Is what we're trying to
raise your children the exact best way you know how. I mean, some people don't put any effort into raising their kids at all. There's people out there that are like that. But some people really, really try. And still, they might make wrong decisions and go the wrong way. And it still breaks your heart.
It does. I get a lot of text, especially people that have been arrested from mothers going, I don't know where my child went wrong. I do.
Right.
And you feel for them. But at the end of the day, they've got to pay for what they've done. Yeah. And Duggar will have to pay.
Yes.
It's not the parents' fault. And I wish they'd lay off of them. Eric Adams, the new mayor of New York City, has a lot he's facing there. As we look at the COVID swamping that, he was just hours into his new administration when the first murder happened. He's got a lot of shaping up to do to fix New York City to where America feels safe to go back to it and attend it again. I wouldn't want that job.
No.
Meridian would be bad enough, much less a place like New York.
Yeah, it's hard when something starts going south. It's hard to turn it around again, but it can be done, I think.
Israel is warning the United States, be ready that the new Omicron is bad. It's sweeping Israel now, and they're getting a lot of people sick, and they're saying be ready in the United States for this. And we are seeing this now. Yeah. Numbers are jumping every day. Hated to go back to that story, but that is another headline that I just caught there.
Yeah.
And it looks like there may be another variant that scientists are discovering. So it ain't over yet.
Yeah, saying that the new variant, is it the new one that they're saying has 46 mutations within it? That's going to make it more vaccine resistant and more infectious. So, not looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's some of the headlines across America. Thank y'all for coming in and visiting with us today.
Yes.
We're going to go to work on another show for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. We enjoyed it, and we hope that you join us again in the morning at 8 a.m. You can watch us on YouTube, Facebook. You can watch us on Channel 24, MeTV Meridian.
Absolutely,
248
Comcast.
That's right.
We'll see y'all bright and early tomorrow. Thank y'all so much for being a part of this.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by